Let's start this day, however, with some good news. Hey, some great news. Some news that will no doubt give you something to smile about for the rest of this day and going forward. Mitt Romney, the two-term liberal Republican governor of Massachusetts, the 2012 GOP nominee for president, and the current U.S. senator from the state of Utah, is finally doing us a favor. He's not running for re-election. And that's something we can all celebrate for sure. Listen to this.
Trump critic, do you feel like with him likely being on the ballot next year, it would give you trouble running for re-election?
You know, there was a recent poll in Utah which had me showing some very strong numbers. I was very pleased to see that. I think the people in Utah don't all agree with me on the posture I took with regards to Donald Trump, but they respect people who vote their conscience. And I appreciate that in my fellow citizens. And I don't have any question in my mind that if I'd have run again, I just don't think that we need another person in their 80s. I'm a little long of tooth already. We don't need more like me. The issues of the day relate to China, climate change, AI, and a lot of guys in their 80s who know how to deal with those issues.
Of course, Romney also infamously voted to impeach President Donald Trump in 2019, despite the overwhelming failure of the Democrats to provide evidence that Donald Trump committed any crime at all while president. He will be what the middle-of-the-road rhino politician will most be remembered for. That, of course, and being a complete weasel that lost to Barack Obama in a very winnable election back in 2012. Anyway, he will also not vote to impeach Joe Biden this year or next. That's an absolute guarantee. Romney will vote with his Democrat friends that are working hard to turn this once great nation into a third world shithole. Yeah. That his remarkable wealth has always afforded him to avoid. He doesn't have to worry about such things. And whether or not the one-term senator from Utah gets it or not, Americans are smart enough to get it. Joe Biden and his entire family are dirty, involved in money laundering, influence peddling, and, well, more, I'm quite sure. And how do I know what America thinks? Well, let's turn to the polls that are taken every single day because a huge majority of Americans believe Joe Biden was involved in Hunter's shady deals, but Democrats refuse to admit what we already know. Listen in.
They don't want him impeached necessarily, but there is a new CNN poll that shows, if we could put that up, 61% of the American people think that Biden had at least some involvement in Hunter Biden's business dealings while he served as vice president. So doesn't this suggest, that polling number, that these allegations are connecting? That's the American people. That's the electorate as a whole, not just Republicans. And then the perception of wrongdoing could hurt Joe Biden.
Well, look, they've spent 9 months with the woulda, coulda, shoulda, but there's no evidence. And that's why the polling on impeachment is different, right? We know that, he was on a phone one time or he had dinner one time. And what Republicans have done is said, see, there's the evidence. He was in the room. He was at dinner. Or he was on the phone. He spoke to his son. But there has been no evidence at all, zero. And if there were, they would be calling for a vote on impeachment. This is not like they want to give Joe Biden the benefit of the doubt, right? This is all about trying to appease Donald Trump. If they had the evidence, they would have tried to appease Donald Trump 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago.
Now, that's a narrative you're going to hear going forward a lot. Yep. You're going to hear that a lot in the coming weeks and months. In fact, Karine Jean-Pierre repeated it yesterday over and over and over. Here it is.
You see Republicans in Congress, right? They have spent all year investigating the president. That's what they've spent all year doing, and have turned up with no evidence, none, that he did anything wrong. I mean, that is what we've heard over and over again from their almost year-long investigation, and that's because the president didn't do anything wrong.
Didn't they investigate Donald Trump beginning in 2015, and aren't they still doing that? And she's worried about a 9-month investigation.